the leader man, the counselor man. Yes, our weatherman them there, the macho Mark, Luke and the John them there. Well, today, man and man, we're there. Welcome to the program designed for men with guests who are men and whose hosts are men. The mailbox is here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. I'm your co-host, Courtney Morrison, and with me is Kevin Bailey. Kevin, what go on, you? You good?
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Doing good. Give thanks, Courtney.
This is going to be an evening that is so good. Trust me. We want to talk a little bit more about it. Kevin, what is in store for us today? Um, or what happened on the weekend? I lost a friend of mine yesterday.
Courtney, greet.
You know, his name is Akeem White. He was a young
Wow.
man who I mentored, dedicated his child. His name is Akeem White, a young man who ran a taxi cab here in Greater Portmore. He was shot to death by gunmen yesterday, while he was loading his taxi with some youngsters. They ran him down, shot him a couple of times. He died on the spot, it would seem. We continue to experience the crime and the violence in Jamaica. My heart goes out to the family of Akeem White and his friends. He dies leaving a young child and mother of that child. Sad times.
Very, very, very sad, Courtney. My condolences to his family. Um, in so many ways to you as well. And it is just this matter of violence and crime, and we really have to get our heads together as to see what can we do to turn the tide. We may have to have more conversations, but we cannot continue to live like this. Too much tragic circumstances, the death, the mayhem. We must be able to offer some better solutions, Courtney.
Yes, we must be able to. And our men are the main perpetrators, yet they are the victims mainly of 85% of the violence, yet they are seemingly also 85% of those who commit the crimes. We really need to, as we approach Father's
Yeah.
Day, put in some serious prayers. Speak a little bit more because there are some prayers that will be going up in Mandela Park on Sunday between the hours of 4 to 6 for fathers. It would be a good time for fathers to really come together and pray. So, Kev, talk to me now.
So
What
so
is
so
happening
so
in
true,
today's
Courtney.
program?
Um, yeah. So this month we invite the man and man them to sit down with us for a table talk, and we continue our the man them table talk, as we call it, right? And so we'll be
Yeah.
talking about emotions and the man part two. We started that before, and we want to continue to look at man and man. Sound crazy when we talk about emotion to men, but Father's Day right around the corner, and so we want to zoom in on the emotions men are feeling, are expected to feel. We want to express in a safe place. And also remember, it's Men's Health Month also. So we are representing healthy men, not just during this month, but always. So, man and man, listen up, and we encourage the ladies them to prod the man them so them listen up. Courtney.
Indeed, indeed. As we speak about health, my blood pressure was not the best in the past couple of years. 153 over 101 was what it was at. Started to do some exercise, lost quite an amount of weight, and my blood pressure is now regularized 117 to 123 over 77 to 20 to 83. And so when we talk about health, but many people don't like me looking this soon. They thought I looked much better when I had more weight. They think something is wrong with me.
Ah,
Pity them no know, so I know I feel good and look better on the inside. But today inside the mailbox, we're gonna take a look at about emotions and the man. What we're talking about? Where did this notion that men can show emotions come from?
Congratulations, man.
Yes, thank you very much, man. What are some stereotypes connected to men who are in touch with their emotions? In touch with their emotions? What does that mean? Why do we think emotions are the feminine side of us? Why are men scrutinized for showing emotions? Do strong emotions reveal hard truths we don't want to face? The apprehension to expressing emotions, maybe because men fear appearing feminine. So what I'm saying, could that be connected to misogyny? Is vulnerability difficult for men? Good question. How can men be encouraged to be more emotive? One of the things I love to say, do not think that being silent connotes non-emotions or being non-emotive. You might be surprised what is wrapped up inside that. Okay?
So true. So we want our men to feel safe. After all, we're 100% human being, and so we can experience the full range of our emotions, whether they be great ones as we consider them, whether we feel sad, whether we feel happy, apprehensive, anxious, whatever it is. But we are human beings, and so we must feel free to be able to express ourselves. We're gonna have a very special guest. Our special guest is Adiel Thomas. Adiel Thomas, and we're gonna have a conversation as we continue to challenge, encourage, and empower our men to become all that they were created to become. After all, God placed us here a specific gender for a purpose as we complement each other, male and female, and fulfill God's purpose. Isn't that so, Courtney?
It is so, it is so, and I'm sure Ariel may be on. So greetings, sir. Hope you're going to share with us. And boy, I don't envy you today, and I have some big questions to ask. I really want to ask them. So, man, I'm man. The man about the place. And the man, remember, we want to hear from you, though. It is time. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. Women, we welcome your participation in the program by leaving a message via WhatsApp or comment on our Facebook page. Females, remember, we love you. Yet we're asking you, no voice calls, no calls or voice notes. We reserve that for the men. But you may text us, as I said before, from the number 876-997-3125.
All right. So, what does it mean to be? Yes, Courtney. So, what does it mean to be emotionally aware? What does that mean? Emotional awareness means knowing when feelings are present in ourselves and others. It is closely related to emotional literacy, which means being able to label feelings with specific feeling words. So, men, just as women, we have feelings, we can name them, we can share them as well. But, Courtney, welcome to our guest, Sir Adiel. Are you there? Welcome to the mailbox.
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. Good to be here. Good to be here, gentlemen. Blessings and love, man.
Blessed peace and love, my son would say. I don't think I announced it. I became a
So
Uncle
great to have
Squared.
you.
Yeah, on the 29th of
Wonderful.
May, I was made to be known that I'm a grandfather. I'm a grandparent. Congratulations to CJ and Camille Morrison as they gave birth to one Caleb Morrison. Caleb Josiah Morrison. Can you imagine, grandfather?
Yeah.
Ariel, it's our pleasure having you this evening. But we have some questions we want to ask you. We call it the draft. the direct response for the featured theme. And indeed, these questions are about you. We want to get to know you better. We want those who are listening in to know who we're speaking with. And so we have these preliminary questions before we get to the main segment. And so we want to ask you to tell us, what has the journey been like as a father? And do you believe you're still caught in some stereotypical behavior as a man in 2023?
So
Let me
that's two
know.
questions. The journey has been amazing. Um, it's a beautiful thing. Just watching life come into this world, I was there from, you know, from the very inception of the pregnancy test was done, and we see the two stripes, and we say, "Oh my goodness, here we go." To the process, rubbing the feet, taking taking the queen to the doctor, looking at the ultrasounds until the big day, not the wedding day, but the day when she said, "Come fast, come right now." I was in Island Girl, get the Island Girl and run go home. Took her to the hospital. A couple hours later, I was cutting the umbilical cord. So the journey has been it's very unique. I think you kind of have to tread that path to be able to talk about it. So I would say it's just been something I've never experienced before, and it has been a beautiful journey so far. The second question you asked was stereotypes. I think, well, I mean, stereotypes are important in my opinion. So there's nothing wrong with stereotypes that help to kind of form the moral fabric of society. Um, I think it's going to drift away from those stereotypes is when we're in trouble. So yep, definitely I've had to live in stereotypes, but it's not stereotypes that I've been uncomfortable with. I feel quite okay being a father and living up to the stereotypes of a father. Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean, positive or negative stereotypes, because I also have the negative stereotypes that would say that, technically I'm supposed to just leave the child with the mother and just do my own thing and just move on, so on and so forth. But, I am fine with the positive stereotypes. I'm there for my son, and it has been a beautiful journey so far.
Awesome, awesome, Sir Thomas. We also know that you wear many hats and walk in many roles. How do these different parts of your life sometimes cause you to get distracted? Do they cause you to get distracted? How do you balance them?
I was just talking to a friend of mine and let her know that she just messaged me a while ago on WhatsApp, and I told her that um I always feel like I'm behind. As she said, I'm sorry to hear. How about the better time management right now the task you need? That's literally what she said. I sent her a message saying that I write on my tasks every day. But that's just a part of life. I think when you do a lot of things and you try to spread yourself in a certain way, especially because you're young. Bible says because upon the young. So I think this is time to do it, to build wealth and to establish certain things so that when I'm older and have my grandchildren, like the gentleman here, I can be much more relaxed because of the years that I would have invested. So I don't have a problem um, being behind or feeling like I'm behind with some tasks. Once I don't skimp on my fathering, so I prioritize certain things. The music, I give relationship advice, I have a fitness club, etc., etc. So I run a business. So things will get left behind sometimes. I have an assistant that does amazing work, but she's vexing me all the time because I don't respond to her sometimes. And things like that will happen. But I think that is the price of ambition, and you just have to deal with it. Nothing will be perfect, but I think in the end it is worth it because I believe in the stereotype that as men as well we're supposed to be the providers. Certainly not only in a spiritual and emotional and mental way, but also in a physical and financial way. So I don't mind um, doing this right now, especially because I know that once you put in hard work, it pays off as a principle of life.
Awesome, awesome. We're up on a break right now, but we're going to hear more from Mr. Adel Thomas, who is our guest. The program is The Mailbox, the theme, emotions, and the man, and this is part two. It's Kevin Bailey and Courtney Morrison here on The Mailbox, celebrating 30 years with Love 101. And guess what? We're starting the I Love Summer program. Are you ready? We come right back after these messages.
Integrity man, I am a man.
Simplified customer due diligence requirements are used by financial institutions only where they have assessed a customer as being low risk for money laundering or financing of terrorism. Simplified customer due diligence requirements make it easier for customers to open accounts. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with Attorney at Law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Darlene Toussaint. On Thursdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Educam Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service, and Bashco, the store that gives you more. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Has it ever happened to you that you're scrolling on social media, spending the afternoon, and suddenly you accidentally give your crush a like? Don't get heated. Pull out with a Sprite. Share and leave them a direct message. Who knows? They might even answer you. Sprite.
Get ready for a melodic time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Thursday, June 15. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with Morning Coffee Pick Me Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Then at 7 a.m. we bring you the Morning Watch with intriguing and thought-provoking discussions. 8:40 a.m. we take it up a notch inside How Do You React with scenarios and situations that make you stop and wonder, what would I do? What would I really do? 9:30 is the Voice of Power brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries. So you stick and stay with us. This take me back Thursday inside the morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
A spiritual family. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man.
Yes, welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. We're live on Love 101 FM. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube, on all social media platforms. And we're inviting you all to comment and leave your comments right there. For indeed, today we continue on the theme, the emotional man. Christian men and their emotions are what we're talking about. And we have with us Mr. Adel Thomas. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name correctly. If I am mispronouncing, please help me.
You'll be pronouncing it almost as bad as that Sprite ad. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that. But you can't.
I'm pronouncing it almost as bad as what?
That Sprite ad. So I'm not sure what somebody calling some. Anyway, they're paying you guys. So, but it's Adiel Thomas, Adiel.
Thank you, sir. Bless you. I like having the correct pronunciations of names. We want to ask you some further questions, because one of the things that happen, we're talking about men and their emotions. We find that men seem not to be able to show their emotions. Where did this notion come from that a man should keep his emotions on the inside? He shouldn't express it. What is happening there, and why would he want to do that?
Where it come from, I have no idea where it came from, but I can give you some possible things based on just my observation of life. Where did it come from? I think it would be coming from a place of rules and stereotypes. So you see a boy crying when he's a nice man. See a boy crying, I'm still yeah. So as a young man or a young boy rather, I think it is more typical for us to get hushed and silent when crying and not being allowed to cry and express our emotions in that way. So then, as we get older, it kind of it's more frowned upon. I think don't talk too much. You have man, you have boy, and if you chat too much like girl, or chat too much for those statements. I would have heard growing up. Whether I don't think my parents did that. So I would have observed hearing things like that and witnessing other young boys being told that by their either parents or their ward. So that's one possible case. Just culturing, kind of stereotype, and not really stereotype, but almost in that lane, for lack of a better word. So yeah, so when we get older now, we kind of just move into that kind of groove same way, You don't have to really share everything going go on the program, man, and stuff. So I think that's where it came from.
Do you believe also once we hear the word emotional, we think feminine? The question is, is it feminine to show emotions? We often hear persons saying men should keep in touch with their feminine side when it comes on to the issue of emotions. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't sound masculine. Feminine sounds womanly. Don't say we're feminine, no, you probably won't want to, associate with that as a man. What I think it really means is being able to tap into the emotional side or your feminine side is really being able to soften yourself and to become vulnerable to your emotions, to be able to express yourself in a clear way, to say, so I can be, and it's not just for a woman, because right now I can be vulnerable and be in my feminine side with you both, and you're not a woman. So I can say, all right, today was a very bad day. I felt like these two gentlemen did not consider my feelings. They did not. The first one that I was talking to, he didn't even ask me for the correct pronunciation to my name, and that made me feel very unimportant. It made me feel small. So that is being in touch with my feminine side by expressing that clearly. The opposite to that would just be kind of just hunkering up those thoughts in my brain. And by the way, that's not true, obviously, because they asked for pronunciation. And even if it was, I wouldn't care. But, if I had those thoughts, it's just an example. That's an example of just being very open, and that's what we refer to as being in your feminine side. Just being a bit more vulnerable and open to expressing your thoughts and feelings in a healthy way.
Adele, thank you for sharing that. I wanted you to demonstrate to our listeners that you can name your feelings. So tell me something. What were the feelings leading up to the birth of your child? What were the feelings that you had? And then can you tell me the feelings that you now have? Are they the same?
I'll tell you the feelings I now have first. I'm always very tired. Sometimes I wish he would go to his bed so I can go to sleep. Those are the feelings I have now. The feelings that leading up to his birth were feelings of expectancy. I was, especially when I saw the belly getting so big that it feels like I could just use a pin to pop it. And that's how big. I was very anxious because, especially because his mom was due, so they wanted to induce the labor, and I remember my mom saying that was very painful. So I really wanted to go through that. So I was very anxious. I was very, I wouldn't say I was nervous because that's my sperm. I knew that he was going to be a champion and just push all the way through. But I would have been very anxious, very expectant, and kind of just uncertain about everything because it's my first child. So I was not too experienced. That's all. Those were my answers.
Wow. Thank you for that. I think you're past, now the listeners them know that you definitely are in touch with your feelings, right?
Oh yeah, that's when I have to in touch with the feelings. If you're not in touch with the feelings, I'm generally kill yourself on them things. Some of the money used to do them things. If they just link me on Instagram and say, yo bro, say right now I'm feeling I'm gonna jump off or something because my girl XYZ. I'm gonna just read and Most of the time, because I mean, I have friends who they tell me these things all the time. Most of the times, I don't even say anything or give advice, but they just get it off them chest and
Mm-hmm.
them just gone. And them not bother kill themselves or them not to bother. Well, let's say you can't say kill yourself anymore, so they don't have to analyze themselves. Kind of weird, but they don't have to analyze themselves. They don't have to do anything like smoke weed or get into a depressive state just because they express themselves. So yeah, man, necessary. You have to do that in order to keep yourself sane sometimes. The bottom of
Thanks,
the
Sir
thing is
Thomas.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is safe to say that, scripturally, God made woman from man. For the word
Yeah.
woman does mean from man. That's exactly what the word translates into English. So
Right.
being emotional carries with it, as you said, most often negative stereotypes types. Tell us something about the positive stereotypes, the good ones that comes with emotion. Is happiness an emotion?
It's happiness and emotion. I have no idea. I need to look at the definition. I know happiness is a feeling and it's transient. Sadness is a
It's a
feeling.
feeling.
Feeling to describe emotion, to describe happiness and sadness and things like that.
List some of what are known as emotions.
List of what are known as emotions. A state of emotional well-being can be a general state of happiness. Yes. So from that perspective, I would say then happiness is an emotion. It just do. When something just not sound right, it sounds technically correct, but in my head, happiness is more of a feeling. But yeah, you can be in a state of emotional well-being, which is general happiness and joy. You can be in a state of emotional sadness. You can be in a state of grief when you express those emotions through crying or being in grief, thinking about the person that would have died. So yes, you can be in different states of emotions, including happiness, sadness, grief. Yeah, those are some examples.
And you really spoke about the fact that sometimes we use the words interchangeably, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and just so that everybody on the same level playing field. It's always good to do a feelings check. Every day
Right.
when we get up, yeah, it's good to just ask yourself, how am I feeling today? What are the feelings? And if we can name them, I feel sad, I feel anxious, I feel numb, I am fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Once we start to name feelings, we can have power over it, and that is the
Right.
amazing thing. Before we go to the break, I want to ask you to talk a little bit about being vulnerable as a man. Is it easy for men to be vulnerable, whether to our wives, whether to our friends, our church people, or brothers, whoever it is? And if it is not easy, what makes it so difficult for us to open up and to be vulnerable to others? Yeah, so I think we're just upon a break, Courtney. So probably to hold that
Yes.
until we're back. Yes, we're going to take a break. This is the Mailbox on Love 101 FM, your family station. And of course, we will be back in a moment.
Strong man.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. Right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Join us on Thursday, June 15 at 5:30 p.m. on the truly marvelous program to have you told with counseling psychologist Andrea Casey and Colleen Beckles, for the conversation, Can Being a Good Husband Make You a Better Dad? Listening right here on Love 101, the family station, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Proper hand hygiene starts with Cubby's hand sanitizer, providing lasting moisture and a shield of protection. Plus, it smells great. The time by Cubby's hand sanitizer is
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. It's 2 minutes after the hour of 6 in the evening here in Kingston, Jamaica, Portmore, wherever you are in Jamaica. The time zone is saying 2 minutes past the hour of 6. We have with us our guest, Mr. A.L. Thomas. I don't know if I'm getting that right. We're speaking to the emotional man and his emotion, the Christian man and his emotions. We're talking and trying to find out what are some of the stereotypes. Before we went for the break, Kevin was asking Sir Thomas about being vulnerable, if it is difficult to do so, and if yes, why? Sir Thomas, if you may proceed to answering those questions. Thank you, sir.
What go on the question, can you please? You still wanted to ask before? I don't know.
He was asking about vulnerability. Kevin, go ahead and repeat the question.
Sir Thomas. The question is it easy for the man to be vulnerable, to open up to his wife, to his friends, brothers in the church? And if it is not easy, why do you think it is so difficult for men to be vulnerable to others?
Okay, let me start with the second one first, as I've been doing. So it could be not easy because of the response you get. If you open up to your wife or a woman in general, a female, you may be ridiculed for it, so that may make it harder to share next time. Or just even to you open up to a man, to anybody. And if you are feeling that the person understands your feelings and validating your feelings, if they I want to answer the question. You definitely probably not do that again. And is it easy for a man to open up to his wife? That depends on the wife and the relationship that they have. For some men, I know that they find it easy, and for some men, they don't find it easy. My personal beliefs on this, I don't know if the Bible really spoke about how much a man should share with his wife. But I think personally that there's also something called oversharing. Even within the marriage, and that a man must also have male friends that he shares certain stuff with, and that build him up in a certain way. Brotherhood is what I call it. I am blessed to have that brotherhood, because we have problems, right? I play basketball every day. I might have a picture, something that maybe my friends will be able to help me in a more efficient way than even my wife, because there are also men and that brotherhood has gone through that thing so many times that they probably will give better advice. Also, this is second and to me more important reason. Biblically, where the head of the household. If every single day you get up and every day is a problem, you begin to not look like a solid leader, especially if you're not coming with solutions as well. So you want your wife to know the boy, yes, you're gonna go there to everything for sure. But you also have a brotherhood that if you have a little thing will go down and you need to figure out how to fix it, and that you don't need to tell your wife that you link your virgin and say, Virgin, this fight blah 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 blah, and you fix it in that way. So I think that there is not everything you must go to. Make the woman come to you and tell us, all right, yeah man, she can come to you with everything. But as a man, it's very important for you to have brothers, so that you can also get strength from them. The strength of the pack is within the unity of the pack. So, you have some strong brothers when you have your wife, you tell your wife what she needs to know. Obviously, we're not talking about any kind of secret, whatever, or anything that's not supposed to happen. But, you still have to maintain the leadership in your house. So you don't need to necessarily share every little inkling or thought that comes as a problem. Those are my personal views, and that's the way that I choose it. So, you can take as you want of that. But generally, you share based on how comfortably you feel about sharing.
So
Very,
we
very
just want to remind
interesting,
our
Courtney.
listeners, thank you, Sir Charles, that this is the mailbox you're listening to. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. You may leave your comments there, or you may call us or leave a voice note or text message on the number 876-997-3125. Our studio lines 876-968-8327 or 8. We're
Hey,
talking about the
Courtney.
emotional man, and we want your perspective on this one. Does the word emotional carry a feminine side to it? Is it something that also connotes negativity? Is there something positive and masculine about the word emotional? Is my question, sir. I'm one of those who think we think only about crying and talking a lot when we talk about being emotive. Why is it that our men seem to be less emotive, and do these words carry with them some feminine stereotype? Is it correct, Mr. Thomas?
Is that you want to answer that one, or I thought?
Yes, sir. You're the one. Does the word emotional carry a feminine stereotype with it once we hear about being emotional, and does it come with a sense of crying and talking much?
Right. No man. So not anymore, not in my circle. Well, it does. It's like I tell you. Certain communities, of course, it will. But I think empowered men nowadays are realizing that being emotional is actually being strong, because it is in many
Amen,
cases
bro.
it's actually harder to share your feelings and harder to
Yes.
be vulnerable in the presence of whether a man or a woman. So I mean, we are kind of redefining that narrative. And even in this program, so congratulations to you guys for even having a program like this and helps to redefine
Thank
the
you.
narrative. So listen, yeah, man, little by little we are redefining the narrative. Say, all right, listen, I am still strong. One of you were talking about the fact you started exercise and so on. Physical strength is one thing, but mental and emotional strength is also very important. For strength overall in the man. So I am strong if I can come to my wife and say, boy, baby, I feel very, very weak and low right now. I need 2 hours to just breathe out. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to come back. I'm going to move on with the things that we said we were going to do today. All right? Instead of just going on with the things that you have to do today and then you have a breakdown, blood. And I don't think people understand the implications of these things. And as a fitness trainer, what I tell my clients is that the mental state controls everything. The mental state, your mind, mental state, about. So you that are continue, you never tell the wife to say, boy, you can't manage, and then a blood pressure bust up in your brain. What do you think cause that? You think that is a physical action, but it stems from the instability of your mind and the weakness in your mind. So strength is actually being able to express yourself to say, boy, I am thinking right now, I need some time, or boy, I am thinking right now, I don't know what to do, I need help. So that is actually strength, because that keeps you from getting to a place where your physical body becomes to get sick and begins to rebel against you. So yeah, it's not weak anymore. That's probably in the 90s or before I was born. No, understand that it makes us strong. Physical strength important, mental strength important, emotional strength, spiritual strength. And I already talk about financial strength. As a man, them stereotypes we are put, because them stereotypes they coming from the big man himself.
Yes. So tell me something, Sir Thomas, and this is something that some men wrestle with. Their wives earning more than them, and based on her profession, and some men feel emasculated. They feel less than, and it just affects their level of confidence as well, and that may come out in their work and their ministry. How would you kind of address that? Any pointers for men who may be experiencing that from your experience as well? Just your thoughts on that.
Man, I have experience in that too. Nothing wrong with a woman. Big up that woman. But there are two sides to it. So there are the women that make the men feel like they make less money. And those are the women who do appreciate. And those are the women who you're not married to her, so you can leave her. Those are the women that is not married to her, you say just leave her at the same time. Because I have friends as well who are with ladies, courting women who make more than them. And the women make them sure let them know it. They just make sure that the man knows the love. More than you the boss, etc. So there's that. So I wouldn't deal with that. That's the first time that if me I make 100,000 a year, I make 40,000 a month, and I go hear about it. The first time I hear about it, I go say maybe it's a mistake. Maybe she kind of slept on her period or something. She's miserable. But you see, by the second or third time, man, pride go before for me. Goodbye. Alright, that's the first way. It's just the best way to do that. The second thing is that there are some women who don't do this. And I've also, experienced that, and it's a beautiful thing as well. They make more money. We have more money in the union. Praise be to God. And they are still able to function in their feminine role and allow for you to lead as the man. Not necessarily take their money and to allocate or anything like that, because being a good leader also means being able to delegate. So if she better with money, I take in my money and I say, boy, baby, you might 100,000 here, take it and just bring back on the phone to it. Because remember, so we'll make up the plan and things, and you better with the money. So you just send this to the account, then do what you need to do. Send the investment money to the investment portfolio, blah, 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 blah. So that is the leadership. So not because she's making more money or she's dealing with the money, it means that you're not a man or you're not a leader. You're still leading that home, and once she submits to you, and yes, we're saying that we're in 2023, ladies, you're supposed to submit to the man, even though, the woman is empowered now. Submit to which man? Yeah, it's in the Bible. Wife submit to your husband. So once a woman submits to you, if you're making more money and it's all good and she's not talking about it or making you feel emasculated, then you find out if you feel emasculated on your own, that's on you, bro, and you have to mentally step it up. Alright? If you think that you are at a place and say, boy, yeah, I make 50,000, but eventually you plan to make 150,000, then you just keep on working until you get there. But don't make it emasculate you unless you know that there are other issues. That alone should emasculate you, because once you're a man and your woman is submitting to you, you feel good to go, my bro.
As the voice of...
That's what we call support, bro. That's what we call support.
Yeah, we're just telling.
Hey, Kev, what an interesting discussion we're having with Mr. Adriel Thomas. He is the founder of Island Kings. He's an artist. He's a trainer. You heard him speaking to that, and I must attest, Sir Thomas, that the majority of the reasoning why I went and did this was not even to lose weight. It was for more my mental and emotional strength than anything else, why I decided to exercise. He's an admin and speaker. He's whom we're talking with today on the program from the Mailbox. We're going to go for a final break, and we'll return more with Mr. Thomas on Emotional Man, Christian men and their emotions. Celebrating 30 years. Love 101. Right back after this message.
Pretty man, I am a man.
And we're off. Yes, folks, I Love Summer begins with pull-up number 1 and Spanish Town tag. You're it. Yes, indeed. The Spanish Town Shopping Center, right by the clock, comes alive Saturday, June 24th with a whole day of fun, games, prizes, and entertainment for the whole family.
Meet the Love FM team, dance and praise with music by DJ Rebirth.
Hey, youth and youths, you better listen out, of course I'll be there to bring you the hottest mixes and
remixes and refixes. And passing through to lively up the place, Lubert Levy and Odia Spencer. I love summer keep, and you have got to be part of it. So, rock and come in.
And let's make it the place to be.
Hey, KG, DJ, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. The question is, can Spanish Town handle it? I know they can.
Loads of fun about to be unpacked. So yes, Spanish Town, let's go!
I love summer. Saturday, June 24th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Spanish Town Shopping Center, right by the clock.
Live on Love 101 FM, the family station, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
I love summer.
This is the Colgate Max Fresh Swing. 10 times longer. That's the cool Colgate Max Fresh. Healthy teeth brighter. That's the cool Colgate Max Fresh. Feel the freshness longer. Colgate Max Fresh. All right, my friends, it's time to try Colgate Max Fresh. What are you waiting for? Colgate Max Fresh. Yes.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Mailbox. I'm Courtney Morrison along with Kevin Bailey, your host for the past 11 years on this program. Started in July of 2012 and we're fast approaching our anniversary. What a time together. Today we're speaking with Mr. Adele Thomas on the topic, the emotional man, and this is part 2. What can we hear? What more can we know? He is the founder of Island Kings and he's an artist. He is a physical trainer and he is also a speaker, motivational speaker, and he seems to be an advocate for men. So he's who we're talking with today. Kev, you sound like you have a burning question you want to ask Sir Thomas, so just drop it now, no?
Yeah, Sir Thomas, really appreciate you. Tell us, what would you say are the core roles of a father? Even as you find yourself being a first-time father, what is it that you would say these are your core function, your core roles? This is what you are expecting to do with this precious life that has been given to you by God to nurture. Just share from your own thoughts and mindset. What is it that you are going to do and expected to do? And for our audience as well.
That even before being a father, I don't want to sound cocky with this, but I already knew I'd be a good father. I had a good father, so I had a good template. I was able to observe, even very young, and remember the things that my father did with me. So that's I'll just put that in first, that we have to ensure that our sons and our daughters see good fathering, because that is pretty much what they will probably do as well. Monkey see, monkey do. It's true that whatever we see perpetuated is 90% of the time what it is that we will do. So I have to just big up my father first of all for being a good father, and because it made it easier for me. And what he did is what I am just currently doing quite naturally. Financially taking care of the child, making sure the child has food, etc., etc. So working hard to make sure that the child is taken care of, clothes, etc., etc. Child don't need to go to Disney World every year any at all, but the child needs food and just the basics to live. The child needs to go to this is a personal thing. The child needs to go on good school. Right? And I don't want to get into good school and bad school, but if you're gonna be
like some yam and dumpling and banana.
Right? So the child needs to go to a good school, so you have to provide for the child. And I was that my father did, we had morning. My father was a pastor, by the way, so maybe it follows, but we had morning and evening worship. So a spiritual leader. So, there are many single parent households with the mother alone. I was having a discussion with a young woman, and she was saying, I can do everything that the man can do. You absolutely cannot. There's a difference between And of course, if you're a single mom, of course, you're going to have devotion with your child and pray with him and so on. But there's a difference when it's a man who's doing that because you're a boy. And you know from very early that man and woman are two different things. When you see a man, your father leading out into spiritual activities, has a whole different effect on you. Has a whole different effect on you. So being a spiritual leader, financial care provider for the child, being able, obviously I don't know this yet because my child can't even speak, but I think another role is to have the children comfortable enough to speak with you. So even disciplining them or commanding them, you leave the women there for them to be emotionally vulnerable from very young. And to teach the men and the boys in this, we can kind of segue into that because we're talking about men on this. Teach your boys to be emotionally vulnerable as well. So when they come to you and say, boy, daddy, Ray. But yeah, even if you think it's absolute garbage, let them talking, entertain them and let them express themselves, and that is how we build emotionally mature men. So there's that as well. There's also, as I would have been mentioning, as a part of that last point, which is, what is it again? I don't remember. But that's everything.
Thank you for that, man. Quite a lot, quite a mouthful right there in Courtney.
Hey, Kevin, let us check in. Is there anything on social media?
No, I haven't seen anything there. No, but quite a lot of wisdom. You saw something, Courtney? Quite a lot of wisdom coming from. Is it Adiel or Adiel? How you pronounce your name? Adiel. Yes, Adiel. Lots of wisdom there. And if as we think of Father's Day and your perspective on it, have we grown? Do you think that fathers are celebrated just as mothers now? Have you seen a transition into us recognizing the significance of fathers and therefore encouraging them? What's your take on that now, Adiel?
Well, Mayor, I think you asked that question just because you want me to say it, because everybody, their mother, their father, uncle, their daughter, even the unborn child knows that Father's Day and Mother's Day is like 0% to 100%. When you're walking on the road for about 2 weeks before Mother's Day, you see presents and gifts and everything out. Last year for Father's Day, my son was born on Father's Day incidentally last year, so he'll be 1 year old this Sunday.
Wow, congrats.
Last year on Father's Day, hey man, thanks. Last year on Father's Day, I went on the road to get something for his mom, and there was nothing out there. The place was like I was wondering if I was an Israelite in the desert trying to find out my tribe, because the place was desolate. Mother's Day, on the other hand, is a Sunday, and marketplace in Kingston is full. Everybody taking out their mother, etc., etc. Father's Day is a contrast, totally. But I would say though that the recognition is nowhere near the same for the fathers. And before I even said it, women, if you know that the man is a good father to the child, is a good husband, etc., etc., the little food we ever cook for you Sunday. He works for the man for long. He used the food by now, Now, I tell you still what he used to. Take the man out to a nice restaurant, man, and make him feel special like when would do you. Buy the man a nice big push. And do the same thing what he would do for you. Nobody would say like a curry goat where you cook for the last 15, 20 years now. You're not doing anything much different. And the same. The same little sweet, you're not giving nice. No, man.
You sound like me.
Yeah, man. No, man.
You sound like me, area, because yesterday on the Rock, I was asked to sit in for Steve Blair Jr. And my rant and rave, or what we call a piece of Courtney Man, was on Father's Day, and basically you're echoing the same sentiments that I did yesterday. So give us the shirt and the socks and the tie. We'll put them down. We want something creative and new. Father's Day, you want to see a great man? Support him and celebrate him and watch what happens. You'll be surprised.
The world, the
And
world,
Kevin would have grow back here from get all that.
yeah, man.
but I was here thinking that things have improved a lot. I see my church doing stuff for fathers and giving some nice gifts, and I think I'm
So,
hearing more of a celebration of fathers and having more forums for them. So I was thinking in my mind that things have improved over the years, but it's good to get the feedback and to temper
Yeah,
my
man.
excitement then. Uh, yeah, yeah. Courtney, I know we're
hey, time is
almost
up on us, you know.
yeah. So this
Time
is
is
what
up on
last
us.
last word from Adele. And an encouragement again to our men, especially feeling free to share their feelings and being comfortable in their skin. Just your final word, Adele.
Yeah, man. So, men, the beauty about being a man is that we're irreplaceable. So, no matter them could have this, that, this, all kind of different things, yet a man will always only be a man. So, that's the first thing I want to say, right? We don't know how to see do anything at love, but I'm not going to get into anything because everybody know what I mean because we know how to be politically correct same way. Just in case, rare, I say. So, you are a man and you will always be a man. Society, unfortunately, is trying to change the way in which we do things and cause for us to lose our place, our value, and it's very active. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I see it very plainly, right? The different agendas is clear as day. That's like how it's obvious that we're not treating it right for Father's Day, it's obvious about it as well. So we as men have to understand this and also go against it by doing all we can do to be men, be protectors, be providers, be disciplinarians, be leaders. You will never be without flaw, but also be able to take responsibility for your actions as well. As a mom, so I'm sorry though, you're right. Great leaders are great apologizers. Alright? So
Mm.
standing your role as a man, you're a man, that doesn't mean that you're overpowering and that you're a big boss, you're a dictator and you're a bull, but it also means that you're gentle, you're soft, you're able to express yourself in a feminine way as a man. So be a whole man, financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. We are men, no one can replace us. God be praised, that's all I have to say.
Bless up, bless up. Thank you, thank
Amen,
you.
amen,
Thanks so
amen.
much. So let
Amen.
me say, thanks to our producer, Trishan Bryan, hardworking Trishan, to Timoy Butler for technical support, great guy. To you all listeners and those who joined us on social media, thank you so much. We end our show this week with this quote: if society didn't label a man as weak for communicating his feelings and showing his emotions, more relationship would last. Courtney.
Yes, remember, if you can join us, Mandela Park, 4 to 6, there are a group of us who will be praying. Fathers gathering together to pray in Mandela Park on Sunday, 4 to 6. It won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. Walk away from troubles if you can. Listeners, see you again next week. Hear from you again next week. Here on the mailbox. This has been a good time together. Next week, Monday.